Welcome to the Everything Podcast, and in this episode I am going to be recapping the first series of the Paternoster Gang's audio adventures at Big Finish with the series titled Heritage. But before I do that, a couple of things. I'm recording this episode on the 27th of February 2026, so about a week and a half since I recorded the last episode. There is a very good reason for that, which I will get to in a minute. But yeah, obviously the focus of this episode will be the Paternoster Gang range, or the first half of the current Paternoster Gang range at the time of recording. As I said, the 27th of February 2026. Now to that big reasons. You will remember at the end of 2025 I gave a list of basically my New Year's resolutions. And just a reminder, if you haven't watched or listened to that episode, it is available on all audio platforms and YouTube, so go and check it out if you haven't already. But they were to move house, get a new job, try and eat a bit healthier, and pass my driving theory test. And I can tell you that this is the first episode that I am recording from my new house. So I have moved house, so I've done that one. We just need to go down that list and try and complete them all. But yeah, so that's kind of why I've not been able to record an episode for a week and a half. But that's the good thing, because last week from when I'm recording I managed to record like 6 weeks worth of episodes, especially with the reduced episode count from March 2026. But by the time you're seeing this episode, it'll be May if you're listening on audio. If you are watching this episode on YouTube, it will probably be slightly different to that, but not far off. But yeah, that's the reason why for me there's been a longer gap from podcast episodes. For you there won't be, because as of time of recording I've recorded episodes into May, and obviously with the reduced episode count 7 episodes go further very close. They do well for the episodes that you're now seeing. They're going to cover more than 2 weeks worth of episodes instead of just one. Without further ado, let's get on and discuss the Paternoster Gang Heritage. And we're starting off with the Paternoster Gang Heritage 1, which was released in June 2019 with the following synopsis. Victorian London harbours many secrets, alien visitors, strange phenomena and unearthly powers, but a trio of investigators stands ready to delve into such mysteries. The great detective, Madame Vastra, her resourceful spouse Jenny Flint, and their loyal valet Strax. If an impossible puzzle needs solving or a grave injustice needs righting, help can be found on Paternoster Row. But even heroes can never escape their past. We start off with The Cars That Ate London, written by Jonathan Morris. The advent of electric carriages on London Street causes a stir until they start screaming out of control. Elsewhere, factory workers lose their senses while a brand new power plant suffers mysterious outages. Genius industrialist Fabian Slovak has a vision of the future, free from pollution, running on clean electricity, but Madame Vastra knows such ideas are ahead of their time. We then have A Photograph to Remember, written by Roy Gill. The Paternoster Gang are shocked to discover a rival group on the streets. A Centaurian, Isolarian, and a human. Only their intentions are not quite so noble as Madame Vastra and friends. And when the recently photographed dead begin to return home strangely altered, will this Bloomsbury bunch be more of a help or a hindrance? And we finish off with The Ghosts of Greenwich, written by Paul Morris. Strange things are happening to the people of Greenwich. Phantoms of the living appear, whilst others are aged beyond their years. A cloaked figure stalks the streets, and time is out of joint. Vastra, Jenny and Strax find all clues point towards the Meriden line. Beneath the Royal Observatory lies a secret, something terrible, ancient and horribly dangerous. This set was recorded on the 17th, 19th and 22nd of October 2018, so that's what a 8-month gap, which is kind of normal for Big Finish. And stars, obviously it's just the main cast. We have Neve McIntosh as Madame Vastra, Catherine Stewart as Jenny Flint, and Dan Starkey as Strax. So before I spoil the events of the Paternoster Gang Heritage 1, here's the trailer.
I am Madame Vastra.
I am Strax.
Jenny Flint, thanks for asking.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions.
It's Inspector Cotton of Scotland Yard.
Don't tell me. Something terribly mysterious has occurred and he requests our urgent assistance.
It was just like a real person, only you could see right through it.
The Paternoster Gang Heritage Volume 1.
Ghosts are a long-standing and growing threat in this world. All the writing on the subject agrees.
That's fiction, Strax.
Call me a liar all you like. I know what I've read.
It's a mystery beyond mortal comprehension.
You mean they're undead?
Yes, revenants. Dozens of them.
Auto-motes activated and commencing pursuit.
Look, one of Solak's electric cars. But there's no driver?
Does my true appearance alarm you, human?
You are so fragile, little human. I could end your life in a heartbeat.
You're like Vestra.
Vastra is filled with artifice and affectation. I am Vela. I am nothing like your madam.
A high level of negative chronons.
Negative chronons?
Yes.
Are they worse than the ordinary kind? They sound it.
Big Finish. We love stories.
More tea.
Tea is an abomination. And do not threaten me with muffins.
That was the trailer for the Paternoster Gang Heritage one, which obviously continues the adventures of Madame Vastra, Jenny Flynn and Strax after their TV appearances during the 11th. I'm sorry. Bless me. I'm done. Because normally I pause it, but I didn't know it was coming, so I do apologise for that. Yeah, where was I? Oh yes, the Paternoster Gang Heritage one. Yeah, it's a lot of... It reunites them, and obviously we reunite with them following those adventures. But obviously that now they have their very own range, obviously the Paternoster Gang range, which I will talk about across this episode and the next episode, because there's a kind of... It's split into two series, so it made sense to do it that way instead of like do all of Series 1 and half of Series 2 and then do the other half of Series 2 in the next episode. It just made sense to kind of split it. But yeah, the Paternoster Gang kind of in the highlights. Now, I haven't listened to Heritage for a long while, but even in that trailer I remembered that what I liked most about these episodes in this set is the kind of the dynamic between Vastra, Jenny and Strax, and it feels like they've just finished doing the audios and they've ran into the Big Finish studio, whereas in real time there's about a 5-ish year gap between those things. Obviously the last appearance coming in Series 8 Episode 1 of new Series 2 Deep Breath, which was released in August 2014. This obviously released June 2019. So yeah, that's very strange, but yeah, kind of really good opening set into the series, and kind of we kind of meet in episode 2 in the synopsis kind of what that episode is about, what would happen if the Paternoster Gang turned evil, really. Obviously the first episode kind of being, and the third episode kind of being more kind of the Paternoster Gang just doing their own thing. Let's now move on to the second instalment of Heritage, which is titled Heritage 2, which was released in October 2019, so we only had to wait a few months between Heritage 1 and Heritage 2. Here's the synopsis. Victorian London harbours many secrets, aliens, alien visitors, strange phenomena and unearthly powers, but a trio of investigators stands ready to delve into such mysteries. The great detective Madame Vastra, her resourceful spouse Jenny Flint, and their loyal valet Strax. If an impossible puzzle needs solving or a grave injustice needs righting, help can be found on Paternoster Row, but even heroes can never escape their past. We start off with Dining with Death, written by Strax himself, Dan Starkey. When negotiations between two warring alien races are sabotaged, Madame Vastra offers Paternoster Row as neutral ground upon which to continue their diplomacy and to celebrate the treaty with a feast. While Strax frets about hosting two species with very different dietary needs, Jenny investigates the dissenters who want to halt the peace process, but a deadly plot is brewing and the diners may not survive the cheese course. We then move on to The Screaming Ceiling, written by Guy Adams. In one of the earliest cases of his illustrious career, Thomas Kanaki heads to the Highlands to embark upon the terrifying investigation of Castle Crankton. On arrival, he finds that another party of sleuths has been engaged. Surely these amateurs of Paternoster Row have nothing to teach the great ghost finder, but this is no ordinary haunting. A room in the castle has a mouth in its ceiling and it screams. We finish off the set with Spring-Heeled Jack, written by Gemma Arrowsmith. People are being stolen from the streets by a monster. By all accounts, it has burning eyes, breathes blue flames, and can leap the height of a building at a bound. While Vastra and Jenny fend off an overeager member of the gutter press, Strax dives into dangerous waters. Is the Spring-Heeled Jack of legend returning to terrorise the capital, or are there more sinister forces at work? This set was recorded between the 20th and 22nd of May 2019, so a 5-month gap in this set. And stars Neve McIntosh as Madame Vastra, Catherine Stewart as Jenny Flynn, and Dan Starkey as Strax. So before I do spoil the events of the Paternoster Gang Heritage 2, here's the trailer.
Hello. I don't suppose any of you might be able to assist me with my... Oh, hello. What a big head you have. Did I just say that out loud?
I presume I am now allowed to kill the annoying child?
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions.
I've heard tales of Spring-Heeled Jack since I was a girl. They used to say he looked like a man, but when you got up close, his eyes are flaming red. He breathes blue fire and has claws of metal.
He's not real, it's just folklore.
Much like yourself, Mom.
Thomas Karnacki? No doubt you've heard of me. I have of late proven quite the adept when it comes to supernatural investigation.
Diplomatic territory? A peace conference? Here? Oh, the shame of it.
The dead had been seen to wander the cold stone corridors of Castle Creighton.
No, that's quite impossible. Quite.
Another disappearance. There's 5 this past fortnight. Jack!
Whatever disagreements you may have, this place will not be your battleground, for it is protected.
I'm afraid I will have to use the process on all of you.
So, to recap, the dead have returned to Creighton Castle, and we must kill them.
Even you must admit that wouldn't be possible.
I can kill anything.
Big Finish. We love stories.
The dead.
Anything.
That was the trailer for the Paternoster Gang Heritage 2. And we're going to start off with Dining with Death, written by Dan Starkey, which is my favourite episode of this set, as it focuses more on the comedic side, especially of Strax and trying to deal with things out of his depth. In this example, a dinner party and peace talks and all of that kind of stuff that being a Suntaran hasn't prepared him for. We then have the Screaming Ceiling, which features Thomas Karnacki, which, if you watched my 7th Doctor Adventures recap, Karnacki appears in one of those sets as well. And Dan Starkey is actually in this, so it kind of full circle with that. And Spring-Heeled Jack is kind of the first time that the Paternoster Gang face a big threat that kind of they... because it's a legend, so not as concrete. But now let's move on to Heritage 3, which was released in May 2020, so we had to wait a little bit longer between Heritage 2 and Heritage 3 than we did between the first two. And here is the synopsis. We start off with Family Matters, written by Lisa McMullen. Jenny's past comes calling at Paternoster Row. As Strax takes care of a guest and the travelling circus comes to town, spelling danger for some of the gang. But when Family Matters intrude on their marriage, the last thing Jenny wants is Vastra having her in-laws for dinner. We then have Whatever Remains, written by Robert Valentine. The Great Detective's latest case takes Vastra and friends to the Jurassic Coast. A local landowner has vanished, the only clue the footprints of a gigantic creature. As Strax suffers the attention of an amorous landlady, Jenny gains an admirer of her own, and Vastra discovers something very deep. And we finish off the set with Truth and Bone, written by Roy Gill. Bloomsbury Troublemakers, Ston and Tom Foster are back, and in much more trouble than ever before. Sontar turns its attention to Earth as Requestionation Skark looks to retrieve missing soldiers, and Jenny finds Vastra preoccupied with the past, which may lead to a very dark future. This set was recorded on the 7th, 8th and 31st of October and the 6th of November 2019. So this set was actually recorded before the second set was. So there you go, Tyree Whiteley stuff. And stars Lee McIntosh as Madame Vastra, Catherine Stewart as Jenny Flint, and Dan Stark as Strax. So before I do spoil the events of the Paternoster Gang Heritage 3, here's the trailer.
Evening.
Leave this to me. I learnt this one in Glasgow. Good evening, peasants. We are not from London. There, that should do it.
From Big Finish Productions, The Paternoster Gang Heritage, Volume 3.
Come on in, ladies and gents, come on in. Only a penny to see the great Umberto Ravelli's travelling freak show.
We are caged. We are chained. Do not be afraid. Believe it or not, he's talking about us. There are no terrifying creatures here.
I am Requisitioner Skark of the 5th Sontaran Warbird. You will consider yourself my prisoner.
Stand back, everybody. I am medically trained in swooning.
Just look at this place. Have you ever seen anything like it?
Never. This was built before even my time.
You had a funny turn, Miriam, that's all. Just a short, neutrally mediated syncope caused by a reduced blood flow to the brain. You'll be fine. Do not do any handstands.
This is the game of war. The stakes are high.
Where are we going?
Away from that thing. Strax, hurry up.
May I state for the record that I'm really not happy about all this running away.
She cannot deny her heritage.
Yes. This place must be beyond ancient.
Oh, great. I have a nasty feeling we've fallen into a trap ourselves. Strax, grab the app box.
I know what to do.
Does it involve acid?
Silence! Nothing can resist the Sontarans.
What does a Sontaran homing device do?
It homes. Are you having a brain malfunction?
Big Finish. We love stories.
But what does that mean? What, it takes you home? It physically takes you back to Sontar?
Of course. In the way that your homing device would instantly return you to Earth.
We're already on Earth.
Oh, yes. See? It worked.
That was the trailer for the Paternoster Gang Heritage 3. And we're now in the second half of the first series of the Paternoster Gang, subtitled Heritage. So we're starting to see the pieces come together, especially this set, kind of the first story, Family Matters, focusing on Jenny's family. And then the last story, Truth and Bone, focusing on Madame Vastra's family. And then, well, Heritage, the title makes absolute sense, as does the second series title, which we'll get onto in the next episode. But yeah, following a very similar format to Heritage. But yeah, kind of, it's been a while since I've listened to all these stories, but again, kind of, we'll get into to put the pieces together ready for the finale. And speaking of Heritage 4, which was the final instalment of the Paternoster Gang Heritage, was released in October 2020 with the following synopsis. We start off with Merry Christmas, Mr. Jago, written by Paul Morris. As Vastra searches for relics of prehistory, Jenny worries about security and Strax wants to find a suitable gift for his friend. Henry Gordon Jago has been invited to spend Christmas at Paternoster Row, but when presents are unwrapped, the surprise inside can prove deadly. We then have The Ghost Writers, written by Roy Gill, while Jenny and Strax investigate sightings of fawns beneath streetlights and mermaids in bathhouses. Madame Vastra is invited into a different mystery. Literary members of the Antediluvian Club have strict criteria for entry, and Miss Edith Renner needs Vastra to access their secrets. We finish off the set and the Paternoster Gang Heritage series with Rulers of Earth, written by Matt Fitton. Ancient forces have risen. Vastra and her friends are lost to each other, and a terrible prophecy is taking shape. A pretender to the throne allies with a force from prehistory, while an unlikely ally searches for the Paternosters. The gang must face their destiny as the fate of Earth is decided. This set was recorded on the of the 8th of November 2019, as well as the 20th and 30th of April 2020, and stars Neve McIntosh as Madame Vastra, Catherine Stewart as Jenny Flint, Jan Starkey as Strax, as well as Christopher Benjamin as Henry Gorton Jago. So before I do spoil the events of the Paternoster Gang Heritage 4, here's the trailer.
Merry Christmas, one and all!
Strax, this alarm!
I beg your pardon?
I said, these alarms!
What about them?
Turn them off!
Of course! Now, which button was it? Ah! Perhaps not that one.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions, The Paternoster Gang Heritage, Volume 4.
Strax? Well, bless me. Mr. Jago. Good to see you, sir. Apologies for my rudeness. I assumed you were merely random human scout.
Well, you brought the gang. Young Jenny Flint. And you, Madame Vastra, I'd know you anywhere, veiled or not.
That creature was the scourge of the Silurian era. A gribbolite.
It can't be alive after all that time, surely.
That box of yours, is it just me, or is it wriggling?
If the gribbolite reaches too high a temperature, our problems will multiply.
Mum, we've got a problem.
Good, what the...
It looked different in the shop.
Word has spread about you, Madame Vastra, and I believe I have found the truth within those rumors.
Back in the day, I knew your kind as apes. Primitive, impulsive, and suspicious. Little has changed. My people know this legend too. It is the tale of Anura who stole power from the Old Ones. I know you are waiting.
All life, all carbon forms will be immolated and reprocessed. Tomorrow sees the final dawn, and Earth's cycle begins again.
Big Finish. We love stories.
Your Christmas present.
Oh, how kind. I'm afraid I didn't get you anything.
Quite all right, Mr. Jago. I have everything I could ever want. Except a fishing lance.
That was the trailer for the Paternoster Gang Heritage 4, and we start off with Merry Christmas, Mr. Jago, written by Paul Morris, which is kind of the Paternoster Gang's take on a Christmas special. Because obviously this first series is the first time they've had a series of their own in any form. And having a Christmas special is something that I think they deserved, and the Paternoster Gang fit in, obviously. Linking in Jago from the Jago and Lightfoot range for Big Finish, which I haven't listened to any of, so that won't be being discussed in any form at any time now anyway. But yeah, then we move on to the Ghostwriters, written by Roy Gill, which kind of Madame Vastra is again solo, whilst Jenny and Strax team up doing simultaneous things. That is kind of a format that keeps cropping up in both series 1 and 2 of the Paternoster Gang, or Heritage and Trespassers, obviously being series 1 and 2 respectively, obviously focusing on the Heritage in this episode and Trespassers in the next one. And then we finish off with the not only the Heritage 4 finale, but the finale of the Heritage series altogether, with Rulers of Earth, written by Matt Fitton, where kind of the Paternoster Gang have to deal with several things at once, which again is something that they used to, but not some things that are as high stakes as this. So yeah, it has been a while since I've listened to this, so I couldn't give much thoughts, but I have listened to the second series a lot more recently because of when it came out, which you'll find out in the next episode, so I'll have more thoughts on those. Without further ado, let me know what you thought of the Paternoster Gang Heritage if you listened to any of the sets. If you didn't, you can let me know what you thought of my recap, but without further ado, I will see you in a future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.